Welcome back to the Wizard Shop. And you guys have seen this CL55 in the background and you've wanted to see a video on it. And you're going to get what you asked for today. We are talking about this beautiful CL55 AMG. Let's get started.
What are you doing?
Oh, hey guys. Sorry about the crappy flute. This video is actually sponsored by Wrench Every Day. He has sent us some flutes, 4 of them actually, and he said, enjoy the flutes, Car Wizard. I'm not too sure why he sent them, but this came from Jared Pink. You guys knew Jared from Wrench Every Day. He sent me these wonderful flutes. So, and we won't be seeing more of these, obviously. I don't know why he sent them, but anyways, enjoy. Now enough about flutes, let's talk about this beautiful car. Half of the job's already done on this car, and we're going to talk about why it's here, and we're going to take a look at this thing around it, in the interior, and just like we always do, on the underneath. This is a 2005 CL55 AMG, and it is an extremely fast car, very powerful. The customer brought it in for some oil leaks from 2 different locations. They were concerned about a coolant leak, and also, as you heard when it drove up, it has a squeaky ball joint going on. So, without further ado, let's get the hood open and take a look at the beautiful supercharged engine on this thing. There it is, guys. All of its AMG glory. Supercharged horsepower. Lots of power. This thing was leaking from 2 different locations, which is very common on just about any Mercedes of these years. Number 1 was the valve covers, which are underneath the air filter boxes on these. But they were both leaking down the side of the block and just pouring oil underneath the car. Kind of an extensive job on this. It's not as fast as you would think it would be. It's not just as simple as popping off the valve covers. As you can see the seam right here, there's crankcase vapor, almost like miniature valve covers that are on top of the main valve covers that have to come off. So there's 2 parts to the valve cover on these, and you have to pull the coils off and pull all this ducting off. So it's not something that's done in 30 minutes. It's a pretty extensive job. The next leak that it had was from the oil filter adapter housing. There's multiple seals and gaskets that are inside of that. We fully disassembled every part and piece of it and put all new gaskets, all new seals, and that is leak free now. So we've taken care of the leaks on this car and it has no more oil leaks. But just like Mrs. Wizard's SL500, this one has ABC suspension, which for some of you that don't know the ABCs and the SBCs and all the different acronyms, that stands for Active Body Control. That's what ABC stands for. So it has an ABC pump, it has active suspension that can raise and lower and do all those different things, which can be very problematic and very expensive. If you guys have seen the previous video I did, it was actually one of these, but it was a dark blue color. And we actually converted the entire car to coil springs and did away with ABC altogether. And it worked pretty well. The customer is very happy with it. Haven't heard a word from him since. He's been happy. This one is still functioning and we're not going to mess with it. It's not leaking, no warnings, no issues, but we did take care of the engine oil leaks. The next concern that the customer had is that it sat for a while, and when he went to drive the car again, he checked the coolant level and it was lower than it had been the previous time that he had driven it. So we pressure tested the cooling system using my handy dandy Mighty Vac cooling system pressure tester. This is on my Amazon affiliates page and is very handy for finding coolant leaks. It can, in a matter of minutes, have answers for you. You guys know that when I diagnose a car, I don't like guesswork. I'm all about answers. It's very much black and white. It's either this or either that. It is broken or it is not broken. I don't like gray areas when it comes to diagnosis. This is another one of those tools that gives you those definite answers that you need to find out what's wrong with your car as far as a coolant leak. So as you can see here in this kit, it has various different shapes adapters that fit different reservoirs. You just take the one that fits the style of radiator cap that you're taking out. Just screws on. Then it's got, every single one of these adapter has a little connection on the top of it. just for the pressure pump. Just snaps on. Then you pump it up. I usually pump it up to 10 or 15 psi. And what you can do is you just let it sit there. This is the time that you go into the office and practice some more of your crappy flute exercises. No, you don't do that, guys. What you do is you can go take a break, do something else, and come back in a little while. There's two things you're going to check for. Number one, is there now coolant puddles on the ground? And if there are, you can start getting a flashlight and looking around or underneath on a lift or whatnot. Where are the puddles coming from? It will physically be dripping or pouring out where the leak is. And from there you'll know this is the coolant leak. Number two, could it be an internal coolant leak? Could it be a blown head gasket? Could it be something else going on? And if that's the case, you won't see anything on the ground underneath, but what you will watch is the actual gauge on the pressure tester. If you pumped it up to 15, it would be normal for it to drop 1 or 2 psi as the air that you just compressed cools down. So if it's dropped 1 psi or 2, that's okay. But if you start seeing that it's going down 5 and 10 and down to 0, but yet there's no coolant on the ground, you need to start investigating where is it going. Pull the spark plugs, look inside the cylinders. Is there water on the cylinders? It could be an oil cooler. It could be a lot of different things. But this will help you find out, is there a leak, yes or no? It verifies the system integrity, the cooling system. Is it holding pressure or is it not? So it's a really handy tool. I've had many customers come in with coolant leaks and they're like, Car Wizard, I've been fighting this for 6 weeks. I've been looking for the leaks. Somehow this car is losing coolant. It's dripping on the ground. I can't figure it out. I get this tool out. I pump it up. I find the leak. There it is. Literally 2 minutes have passed. And they're just like, I've been searching for 6 weeks. I can't. How did you do that? It's not rocket science. It's all about the tools you have in the shop. So, we pressure tested, like I said. It held pressure for hours. There is no leak. So that's what the customer wanted to know. Is there a leak or not? And the answer is there is not. We're very happy to report to him that his cooling system is happy. Okay, I'll put this away real quick and then we'll get this thing on the lift and take a look underneath. So when we had this thing first on the lift to start inspecting for oil leaks, this whole bottom was just drenched in oil. Now it's fairly cleaned up. There's still a little bit of residue. It'll probably need to go to a car wash, but we did wash them off and clean it as best we could. You can see a cooler right through here, and it's not leaking. Very lucky. Can't really see a whole lot because there's a lot of panels in the way. So let's take a look at these wheels. The brake pads are about 60% gone. They got a little life left. Nothing loose there. Nothing loose there, but there is a ball joint. It's probably this one with the cracked boot. We will make the customer aware of it, so whenever it's time that he wants to get that fixed, he will know that it needs to be done. So we'll move on back to the transmission. And it's fairly clean. The pan's all... Some of this residue is from the oil leak that it had before. Flex joints looks good there. Okay. Then we'll move back to the rear flex joint. There's the exhaust. It's all stock exhaust. This one's got some cracks in it. We will let him know about it and see what he'd like to do with that. The customer did make me aware that he knows there's other things that need to be fixed on this car, and they will be done at a future date, and then we will continue on the path of bringing this thing up to snuff. Check these brakes. It says Brembo on them. Those are also about 60% gone, but they still have life left. Nothing loose there. Those brakes are good. So you can see these links right here that are really long where my finger's at. These are aftermarket. If you notice when I rolled up in this car, it's riding kind of low. That's on purpose. It's got lowering links on it, so it rides a little lower. That's what the customer wants. That's the way they want it set up. But that's why they're so long. And it looks like they've been replaced, but they weren't replaced because they were broken. They were replaced because they're customizing it or modifying it. The tires look like they could be replaced here pretty soon. It's down to the wear bars. And the other side is not as bad, and that tells me that there's been some burnouts being done, which is cool. I'm fine with that because that's what this car is all about. But otherwise, I don't see any serious problems. I don't see any struts or anything leaking, which is really good. So let's get this thing back on the ground. Let's go ahead and take a look around this car. Exterior wise, I think it's in very good shape. I really like the color. The tail lights are in good shape. They're not cracked up. The exhaust looks good. These have a really cool, sleek look to them. They look really nice. This one's been taken care of. It's in good shape. No dents or dings or cracks in the plastic or really anywhere. No cracks in the windshield. Headlights look clean. They look clear. The lower portion of the front bumper looks like it's in good shape. It's not been beat up, which is nice. So many of these, those are destroyed. This one's nice. But the wheels on this car are really sharp. They look really good. And on this side of the body, again, no other dents or dings or cracks or anything bad with it. So it's in really good shape. Let's take a look at the interior. Okay, here we are in the interior. You can see this one has 129,000 miles approximately. But the interior is in just as good a shape as the exterior. The dash is very nice. The leather isn't all cracked and beat up. The seats are really in good shape. This car is really nice. It's in really nice shape. I like these cars. They're really cool. And they're extremely fast. You guys seen the CL55 AMG that Tyler had in the shop? That thing will outrun supercars. It is super, super fast. And this one's just about as fast. The headliner's in good shape. And the rear seats are also in very good shape. So this car's been taken care of. You can tell. So I've mentioned in videos before to you guys that I can sit in a car when a customer drops it off, and within literally 30 seconds I can know a lot about the customer. And I can sit in this car and know this guy cares about his car, he wants to fix it right, he wants to do things properly, he's probably not going to cut any corners. And it's clean and it looks nice. So I really appreciate that when it's clean and nice in here. So you guys saw a few oil drips underneath the car, even after we've worked on it. And I've read in the comments where people say, why don't you clean that car, Wizard? We did clean the vehicle. It was completely covered in oil. We've got 90% of it. But every time I've proposed to a customer, say, hey, we can go ahead and spot clean this and make it spotless. But if I pay my guy an hour to do it, I'm going to charge you an hour of labor. You could pay well over $100 for us to spot clean your car. And the answer is, hell no, I'm not paying that. I'll take care of it myself. So if not paying, I'm not doing. You guys know that motto that I have. But we did clean it very well. We cleaned it fairly well. It's nice under there. But it's not detailed perfect nice. So thanks for following along. I know you guys in the comment section said we want to see the CL55. And you got what you asked for. You got to take a look at it. It is very nice. We are finishing up on a few things. I've already got a list to present to the customer that he can take with him. So when he comes back the next time, we can take care of those issues. If you're curious what kind of tools we use, especially like the pressure tester that I just showed you, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We sell all my tools that I use in the shop there. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, go ahead and do that now because we're working towards that 500,000 subs. So make sure you're practicing your flute, guys. Thanks for watching.